Ladies and gentlemen, I don't care if you've been in the game for 3 hours or if you've been in the game for 3 years. What I'm going to share with you in this video is going to change the way you sell. It is the best demo presentation that you could possibly use to sell more SMMA clients. Now, in this video, I'm going to reveal the pitch that I used in order to sell the majority of the over 200 clients I worked with. I'm also going to share how I developed this, and then I'm going to share the conversation that I had with a $150,000 a month closer who helped me shape the way I think about this. And at last, I'm going to give you guys a live walkthrough / demo of what this actually looks like. Now, real quick, before we get into it, I wanted to give you a friendly reminder that I'm a selfish, greedy individual who only posts content on YouTube in hopes that I can get your money. The good news is that I don't want it just yet. See, I partner and make all my money with 6-figure SMMA owners, and I help everybody else get there for free. Yes, I have a free coaching program, I have a free community, I have free courses. You can check all that, links in the description. Without further ado, let's get into the sauce. All right, so the best presentation to sell in SMMA, also known as social media marketing agency. Anyways, I was in the second year of scaling my agency and I hit a financial plateau. And although in hindsight, I should have been more grateful because I'll admit I was doing a good amount of money for a 20-year-old kid. But I didn't care. I just wanted to make more money. And for all you high achievers out there, you're going to relate to this, right? You might be above average in every single aspect of life, but you still have that gnawing feeling inside you that you're not doing enough. And that is what I was dealing with, okay? So I began to look into hiring a coach in order to break through this plateau. And after a few sales calls, I ended up pulling the trigger on a program that costed the equivalent to a luxury vehicle. And as I joined, I realized they had a different way of selling than what I was used to personally. And because I was so desperate to get to this next level, I took blind faith and I dropped everything to learn their new method of selling. And after a few coaching calls and hours of consumed content, I crafted the perfect demo presentation. Then I launched my agency, scaled my outbound, and I waited for the appointments to roll in. Within 24 hours, I had appointments on my calendar. Finally, it was time to test this proven sales demo. And I bombed the sales call. But I didn't quit. One call, don't close, whatever. Get over it, move on. But 10 calls later, I was 0 for 10. This is when I started to panic. This is when I began to get a little bit frustrated. And on my 12th call, I was desperate for the sale. I refused to let this poor prospect who had responded to an ad leave. And I hard sold him for an hour. I handled every objection with some witty, made-up canned response that he had. Whatever he threw at me, I had something for him. But it didn't work. And soon later, I ended up leaving this program. And I was starving for a win. So I reverted back to my old ways of selling with a few minor tweaks. And then I launched a database reactivation campaign, which if you're unfamiliar with what that is, it's basically when you blast out an email or a text message to all the past leads that you've had or all the people that you've hopped on a sales call with in the past, and you make them a special one-time offer. And the guy who I tried to hard sell not too long ago actually agreed to speak with me again, which I'll be honest, I was a little surprised. And soon into the call, he told me, "You are so much more delightful to speak with." And 20 minutes in, he said, "I would love to work with you." So, are you wondering what this new demo deck was that I used the second time around? Well, it was to not have a demo deck and to do messy presentations instead. Just like your room, okay? Let me explain. Recently, I attended a mastermind full of 7-figure SMMA owners, and while I was there, I met Zay, who was a high-ticket closer for an HVAC agency doing $150,000 a month. He told me I would never show a prospect a demo deck. I would have to create 25 different demos for different prospects, which is why he would never do it. What does that mean? Well, think of your product or service like a bottle of Tylenol, right? Tylenol has the ability to solve a lot of problems. It can help you when you're sick. It can help you when you broke your arm. It can help you deal with a lot of problems that you may have. But you are only going to choose the Tylenol that claims to solve your specific problem, okay? And your service may solve 10 different problems, but people only buy to solve one of their problems, right? Back to the Tylenol example. You go there to solve your headache, right? You go there to try and fix your cough or your headache or whatever it is. But if you're going there to try and fix your cough or your headache, you don't care that the Tylenol also helps you with coughs, because that's not a problem that you're trying to solve. Okay? And if you have a demo that talks about problems that your prospect doesn't have, they'll think it's not for me. So in order to deliver a high converting pitch, you need to do these two things instead. Number one is you must have a framework that you can follow. Not a script, but a framework that you can follow. And number two is you need stuff to show. And I'm going to break this down for you in this video. But first, I wanted to remind you that I'm a selfish, greedy individual, and I partner with six-figure SMMA owners and scale them from beyond there. Now, selfishly, I only post content on YouTube in hopes that one day that you will give me your money. I just don't want it yet, okay? What I'm willing to do is I'm willing to help you get to six figures for free, because I know that you may potentially want to partner with me then. And how I do that? Well, first of all, we've got the first client challenge where you can get 1 to 3 SMMA clients in 13.84 days. That is simply a statistic. I don't say that as a claim. You might suck, or you might crush it and get it in 2 days. Only time will tell. Anyways, link in the description for that. I also have a free community, RSC free public community. There's over 1,000 plus members. We do 2 calls a week. There's a free course and a bunch more stuff in there. All this stuff has all the tools and then some to get you to 7 figures and beyond. And I do this, like I said, because maybe if you pull it off, I will partner with you and we will scale to much higher numbers. Anyways, let's get back on the video. So, framework step number 1 is you want to ask questions to uncover their problem, right? Because until you know what problem that you are there to solve, it's going to be hard to pitch, right? Imagine if, trying to sell a bottle of Tylenol before you know what symptoms your prospect has, right? Imagine trying to prescribe medicine to a client, to a patient as a doctor, without understanding, what the problem is in the first place, right? You need to uncover what their problem is. And here's a pro tip, because I know a lot of you guys say, oh, well, my prospect doesn't tell me their problem, or oh, my prospect doesn't open up to me. Well, what you can say when you're dealing with a prospect like that is, if your prospect won't tell you, say, and you want to have a kind of a curious tone to this. It seems like things are going fairly well for you. Is there anything you would possibly change about X, whatever, you're talking about, if you could? Is there anything you would possibly change about your client acquisition if you could? Right? Have a very curious George type tone to that. And usually they'll say, oh, well, there's this. Boom, you've uncovered their problem. And then you can go and continue the conversation in there. As if you've been following this channel for a while, I have a video that did okay considering my follower size or my subscriber count. I break down the sales script that I used to close 250 or over 250 different clients. I'll link that in the description. I do a full 30-minute breakdown of my exact script that I use. Framework, but I use script because I know people on YouTube are more likely to click the word script than framework because they just want the cheat code given to them. Anyways, that's a whole other topic of the discussion. Point is, I'll link what I did to sell people in the descriptions. You can check that out. There's a lot more details on this. Framework step number 2 is to fully customize your pitch to relate to your prospect's current situation. Okay. Now, you want to use kinda like statements to make your service understandable. And now, what a kinda like statement is let's say, for example, I'm an agency owner and I'm selling Facebook ads to realtors, okay? So what an inexperienced salesperson would do is they would say, well, we're going to run Facebook ads and we're going to target this area and we're going to use dynamic creatives and we're going to run ads and we're going to target this age and we're going to target these type of, all that stuff, right? But you forget one thing. Your prospect barely knows how to log into their own Facebook account, never mind understand how the Facebook ad algorithm works. And a confused buyer will not buy from you, right? If they don't understand what they are purchasing, they are not going to pull the trigger. So you need to make your pitch so easy to understand that, literally a kindergartner could understand that. So if I was put in that situation and I was selling Facebook ads to realtors, I would probably say something along the lines of this. Well, bus bench ads, like those ads that people put on bus benches or something like that, and they usually advertise their real estate services. Yeah. Okay, so what we do is it's basically kind of like putting a bus bench on somebody's phone. Because think about it, like you're driving down the street, like how many times do people actually look at the bus bench ad? Barely ever, right? But how many times are people on their phones scrolling through Facebook? All the time. So we're basically putting these bus bench ads onto people's phone where all their attention already is, so they actually see it and they actually can pay attention to it. And that's what Facebook ads is like. Now, can you imagine if you're a realtor and you have no idea of Facebook ads, or you have very little, maybe it's just a term that you know. Which one do you think they would be more inclined to move forward with? The person who talked about targeting and dynamic creatives and all this kind of stuff and funnels, or the person who made it so easy to understand that they felt confident in what they were purchasing? It's the second, right? And the last thing that you want to do is you want to give a live walkthrough of ad accounts, go high levels, funnels, etc. And the reason why I much prefer that you do this live is because when you do this live, it comes across as authentic. It comes across as genuine. It comes across as you are not, manipulating people, right? You're just saying like, hey, here's what we do, okay? Here's how it relates to your problem, right? First step number one is you relate your entire pitch to solving their problem, right? If they're struggling with appointments because without, getting more appointments, they're not able to sleep at night, right? Talk about how, well, we're going to make sure that you get good night's sleep, because without good night's sleep, you're not going to be able to take care of your family, right? How much more powerful is that than, oh, here's another 20 appointments guaranteed, right? Relate your service to solve their specific problem, just like the way Tylenol and Advil do, okay? Step number two, use kind of like bridges to make it almost impossible to not understand. Because if you confuse your prospect in any way, they're not going to purchase from you. And step number three is to use live walkthrough of ad accounts, go high level funnels, etc. to appear genuine, to appear transparent, be like, hey, this is just what we're doing, right? Here's how it works, this is what it looks like, and just be super honest and authentic. And I guarantee you, your transparency will be so well respected. And if you combine this with telling your stories, and I have a bunch of YouTube videos as well as my entire sales call breakdown on how to tell your story, I guarantee you, you will start to close an absurd amount of people. And the one thing that you must remember is increasing your closing percentage will make you more money than booking appointments and doing more outreach and posting content and any other metric that comes related to the sales process. It is by far the number one biggest lever that you can pull, and so you should take it extremely seriously. So, with that, I hope with the time that you invested into watching this video, you got at least 10x the value in return. And if you did, be sure to subscribe, because I'm going to be dropping everything that I know and that has helped me go from zero, the dropout kid making $300 a month, to working with over 300 different people, which I think is pretty cool. And now I have the opportunity to share that with you guys. So if you want to stay up to date on all this, appreciate it, subscribe. If not, I'll see you guys in the next video.